Tonight, new federal findings show nearly $2 million in leased urology equipment went unused at the Tucson VA.
The report cites $217,000 of taxpayer money wasted during the 4-month period when the equipment was not used. The VA has since improved their policy so this will not happen again.
Our KGUN-9 investigation into the Southern Arizona VA crisis continues. Tonight, more claims that the VA covered up its severe staffing shortage that delayed care to patients. You will hear 2 whistleblowers describe exactly how staff was instructed to, quote, game the system to meet performance measures. Valerie Cavazos continues her 9 Your Side investigation.
David Valdez is a Vietnam War veteran in a civilian hospital, not the VA, for surgery. He injured his knees while under gunfire, and he says decades later, his knees blew out. And since 2005, 11 years in severe pain, unable to walk, he's tried to schedule surgery at the VA.
Couldn't get a surgery to save my life.
He complained about his knee, and I said, well, didn't you see a doctor? Well, I was going to, but then they canceled my appointment. Why did they cancel your appointment? I don't know, they just do that.
Valdez became a new patient just as Gary Ramirez started his new position as a medical support assistant, scheduling appointments. Ramirez was aware of the VA's policy,
where we had to make an appointment within 30 days.
But he says staffing issues made that difficult, and he and co-workers had been instructed by his superiors to manipulate patient appointments.
So if you're talking today, and the next appointment is not until the 1st of June, we would have to schedule, say the patient wanted to be seen in May, so we can meet that 30-day timeline.
In other words, if a patient called Ramirez February 11th to make an appointment, it needed to be scheduled no later than mid-March. But if a doctor wasn't available until June, Ramirez would change the date range by entering a May date to meet the 30-day timeline. And Ramirez says that wasn't the only tactic or workaround deemed unethical in this internal 2008 Department of Affairs memo. He saw co-workers ask patients if they were okay with an appointment scheduled months later. A yes response was noted on the form.
The patient is giving the permission to go beyond the 30-day, but do they know that?
No.
Ramirez says he and other co-workers knew it was wrong, even spoke up to their supervisors. But he says nothing changed.
Yes, it looked really bad. It's like I'm really not helping the patient. And
that bothered you?
Bothers a lot of people. However, most of them that couldn't take the pressure left.
A reason, in part, Ramirez left in 2014.
Pat McCoy, a chief of clinical informatics whose job it was to review medical records for care issues, also started here when Valdez became a new patient. Valdez also needed what the VA calls consultations, required before moving patients into specialty services like orthopedics.
In mid-2009 and early 2010, McCoy discovered the VA had been in the practice of canceling or discontinuing consults because of staffing shortages. And in the summer of 2010, she also found this.
There were several hundred orthopedic cases that were not put on any wait list at all. They were on pieces of paper placed on a cast technician's desk.
And those 2 tactics stopped the consult clock. 2 possible scenarios to explain why Valdez's consults may have been canceled.
And so those folks were waiting for surgery. And there was no way really to formalize how they were going to come onto the surgery schedule because they weren't on a wait list, so that nobody really knew about them except for the orthopedic staff.
McCoy reported the inappropriate tactics to top administrators at the Tucson VA, the Office of Inspector General, and Senator John McCain. McCoy left in 2013 frustrated that little or no action was ever taken on any of her complaints over her last 5 years at the VA. And Valdez, he's not in the hospital for knee surgery. It was finally scheduled last month, but his doctor discovered Valdez has pancreatic cancer, and that surgery took priority. At this point, he's taking each day as it comes.
Did the VA do its job?
No, not at all. Not as far as I'm concerned, no.
Valerie Cavazos, KGUN-9 on your side.